What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Thanks for stopping by and tuning in to another one. You're freaking amazing. So guys, today's video we're going to be continuing our pro player series where we have a pro player on that specializes in one specific brawler that we break down together and analyze in its entirety. So we go over game modes, best maps on those game modes, what lanes you want to take with the specific brawler, hidden mechanics with the brawler so that you can practice those as soon as you get done seeing this video today. Now, the pro player that we have on in today's episode is a renowned Rico god, suggested to be on this episode by some of the best pro players in the entire world, and his name is Brayden. Now, Brayden is a little bit under the radar when it comes to trophy pushing. He doesn't really compete on ladder a whole lot, but he does compete competitively, practicing in scrims as well as major tournaments. And another thing to give absolute credibility to Brayden and how good he is with Rico is he's somewhat considered to be the grandfather of the bounce shots with Rico, using it in competitive play very early on before star powers were even a thing inside of Brawl Stars, when people were aware that that could be a viable strategy with Rico. And as always, if you guys would like to keep up with Brayden any further than this video today, make sure to follow the links in the description down below. I'd really appreciate that. So with that being said, everyone, let's get into all these great Rico tips. Here we go. So first things first, we're going to go over some more of the simpler mechanics and then ramp up in difficulty because, guys, Rico is a little bit of a higher skill cap brawler and we got to kind of get that out of the way. So one thing that you need to keep in mind about Rico is that his bounce mechanic is key. You need to be comfortable using your bounce shots to deal a good amount of damage to people on the map, because the maps that Rico is good on primarily are because of his bounce shots and the positionings you take in order to win your lanes using your bounce shot. So Brayden recommends right off the get-go, in order to become better with using your bounce shots, to hop on a mini account preferably and only use your bouncing mechanic to deal damage against the other opponents. This is so incredibly important if you want to get better with bounce shots. If you are strictly using the walls to deal your damage, not straight on shots, you are inherently going to become better with bounce shots while you're using them in game. It becomes somewhat of a reflex. Tip number 2 is that bounce shots are incredibly important to use strategically in order to hit people in very weird spots on the map. However, it's also very important not to get carried away with them. One of the big misconceptions with Rico is his star power and how useful it is. It really doesn't do a whole lot more damage. Rico shoots out a total of 5 shots and he gets 100 more damage for each of those shots. So in reality, with Rico's star power, you have the ability to deal an extra 500 damage if you're lucky enough to land every single one of your bounce shots, which is close to equivalent to only one of his individual bullets. So it really doesn't mount to a whole lot. So if you're jumping into it with a mentality of trying to get a little bit of extra damage by landing your bounce shots, and maybe you're missing a few, it's really not going to help out in the long run. As well as if you don't have Rico's star power, it's not going to affect him a whole lot. Next, getting into some of the deeper, juicier mechanics that's going to take a little bit more time to practice on your part. No, baby, we're starting off with my absolute favorite one of the video, and that is landing 2 different shots at the same exact time against one individual opponent. Now, this mechanic works best when you have a perpendicular wall to work with that we see on a lot of different maps that Rico is very, very good with. Now, when you're laning against another opponent that is also trying to use the perpendicular wall to their advantage, what you want to do with Rico in carrying out this mechanic is, number 1, first shoot your shot up against the perpendicular wall so that it bounces in between each one, and that will slowly make its way to where your opponent is. And then while that's happening, your next clip should be going parallel with that wall on the other side of it. So what this does is the very first shot that you shoot off is going to be slowly making its way up to where your opponent is, bouncing in between each wall, and then the second shot is also going to be making its way up to where the opponent is, however a little bit faster, which makes up for the delay in shooting each of those consecutive shots. Now, most of the time, if you catch your opponent off guard using this mechanic and they don't know what to do in the given situation, both of your shots will land damage at the same time. And at the very worst for you, your opponent is going to pick a lane but take damage from that one individual shot. So essentially, you're trapping your opponent. Moving on to mechanic number 2, and this is something that I just recently picked up on with Rico, and it's helped out my game quite a lot, and that is if you're on an open map inside the game, maybe like some of the bounty maps, or maybe in Brawl if you make it to overtime and all the obstacles are clear. Most of the time in these situations on these maps, it's going to be very, very difficult to land a good amount of your shots straight on, especially against a skilled player. Say you're matching up against a bull and he's trying to get in close to you. He's going to be bobbing and weaving. You're going to be landing like 2 shots of your clip at once, which isn't going to be a lot to fend off that bull. So what you want to do in this situation and the mechanic itself is mess around with the bull's trajectory. So if you keep firing at the bull head on, he's going to know what to do in order to bob and weave some of your shots, at least to minimize as much damage as possible. If this is happening, what you want to do is throw in here and there a shot that bounces off a wall that could possibly come close to hitting him. I mean, if you're on a Brawl Ball map, you can use the side of the map's wall, or if you're on a bounty map, there's going to be some sort of obstacles that you can get a bounce shot in there. Now, what this does to the opponent that's trying to make their way in on you slowly is messes up their patterns. So if you throw in a bounce shot here and there, it's something that's unexpected, and then you can follow up with a shot straight on that they might not also expect. And then it comes down to a guessing game to the opponent, which never really works out well in their favor, and thus you're just going to get more damage ramped up on that brawler that's coming in close. Next, getting into the game modes that Rico is very, very good on, and more specifically the maps that you definitely want to stick to in those specific game modes. So according to Brayden, Rico's 2 best game modes are Gem Grab as well as Brawl Ball, and then Bounty and Heist are close third, but he would recommend playing mostly on Gem Grab and Brawl Ball. Now, Rico can do an okay job on a lot of different maps inside of Brawl Stars, which we're going to be listing here very, very shortly. But after that, we're going to be getting into 3 different maps that I would highly recommend you devote most of your time with Rico on. And we'll be breaking it down like where you want to be positioned on the map, where his best bounce shots are, and really dive into those maps deeply. But in general, some of the maps that Rico can fit into on Gem Grab is Hard Rock Mine, Stone Fort, and Undermine. On Brawl Ball, we have Sneaky Fields, Triple Dribble, as well as Pinball Dreams. On Bounty, we have Temple Ruins and Snake Prairie. On Heist, he's good on Forks Out, Rolling Rumble, and Side Story. And then on Siege, he can play on Some Assembly Required. Next, getting into the absolute 3 best maps for Rico inside of Brawl Stars, according to Brayden, and in my personal opinion, you should just be pushing on these 3 maps. I'm a huge condoner for finding a handful of maps that are exceptional with an individual brawler, not necessarily trying to fit that brawler into maps that they're somewhat good on. That's the reason why we have 26 different brawlers, to find the maps that the brawler is going to be great on. So these 3 maps are Hard Rock Mine, Stone Fort, as well as Sneaky Fields. First, let's dive into Hard Rock Mine. It's my personal favorite map for Rico, and Brayden explains that it's the easiest map to dominate with Rico on because of the bounce shots are just so incredibly good. Now, on Hard Rock Mine specifically, you want to be playing Rico in the right lane, and here labeled on your screen are the best bounce shots on the map in order to control your lane and just dominate in general. And I'll leave it up for a little bit so you guys can take screenshots of each of the best bounce shots on all these 3 maps. Next, breaking down Stone Fort, and this is Brayden's personal favorite Gem Grab map to push up his Rico on because of his ability to control the middle with some OP bounce shots, as well as doing a fairly good job in the right and the left lane. Now, one really cool thing to note about this map is that it is symmetrical, so you can play either in the left lane or the right lane. It really doesn't make a difference. I would recommend finding the best matchup. Next is Sneaky Fields for Brawl Ball, and Brayden explains that this is the absolute best map to push Rico on inside of Brawl Stars, hands down. If you play Rico right in the middle as the centerpiece, you can literally touch every single corner of the map where brawlers might be right off the get-go with all the OP bounce shots with the obstacles on the map. He is so incredibly good here, and labeled on your screen are all the different bounce shots you can take to control the map with ease. Okay guys, so that concludes the tips and mechanics slash game modes slash maps that you want to be using to improve your gameplay with Rico in a very big way, straight from the god himself, Brayden. Now next we're going to be hopping into spectating some of his matches, going up against pro team comps as well as pro players on his team, and how he dominates with Rico on a very good map inside of Brawl Stars. And then at the very end of the video, we're going to be hopping into some matches with Brayden himself to see how he plays in game with your boy Ray. Hopefully I don't get carried too much, but guys, let's get into it. Here we go. Okay guys, queuing up into our very first game, spectating the god Rico, Brayden. We'll see how he does. Now, like we said before, Sneaky Fields, Rico's best map inside of Brawl Stars, so make sure that you're practicing on this map. There's so many areas that you can bounce your shots. The avenues that you can take with Rico here are absolutely insane. From the mid lane, you can basically reach every corner of the map, so Rico definitely really good on this map. So we're playing solid defense, trying to ward them off. They're pressuring quite a bit. They have a very tanky team comp. They have Shelly as well as Primo. It's hard to get in close to these guys, so Brayden's going to have to put in some work if he wants to keep these guys back. Using full advantage of that top wall, bouncing it up to go down. That's a pretty difficult shot to take, so Brayden's doing a fairly good job. Also getting those bounce shots up there against Colt as well as Shelly, keeping them at bay while we have our other 2 teammates getting into position. So fantastic. Not gonna lie, I'm liking our team comp a little bit better. Let me get back to auto here. I like our team comp a tiny bit better than theirs. Theirs is tanky, like we said before, but we have so much control pressure here. BB's got the speed. We have the really good chip damage from Rico and mid, that overseer of the map, as well as Spike, OP Spike. So Brayden doing his thing, going down the middle, which is exactly where you want to play. We'll see if he can ward off this Primo. With some help from Jig as Spike, he was able to quite easily. Now it's 3v2, which is exactly what you want inside of Brawl Ball. Numbers are a big thing in Brawl Ball. Colt surprised him. One thing that you got to keep in mind about the aerial view is that we can't see, or the team cannot see the enemy team in the bushes, but we can, so it's unfair. Everything's a surprise to them. Well, this map is a lot of bushes. So it's 1-1. This is a very close game. So honestly, the problem child is the Primo, just because he has so much health and there's so many walls to hide behind. But here we go, 2v2. Our team, we're a tiny bit weaker than the other right now. Brayden holding it down, but Alex is getting back to lane fairly quickly here. Let's do something before the Primo comes in. Fantastic, good job, Jake. Little crowd control action. Brayden rolling in. What we want to do now is get to that top. This is the best spot to be with Rico, is bouncing up on that wall, bouncing down on that middle wall, and up through their goal like that. So good. It's almost impossible to get through that. So we'll see if they can wrap this sucker up. Okay, so it's now it's 3v2. Alex rolling down mid. Alex should be taking on the Primo. He's the best to go against him. Nicely done, taking care of the Primo fairly quickly. I like our long range matchup here a little bit better than the enemy team. This is a close game, guys. It can go either way. Let's freaking go. 2v3. Alex queuing up. Oh, and the sneaky goal right in between. So freaking OP. So OP. Okay, heading into match number 2 after that last one. Oh my goodness, that heart beater, that nail biter. Okay, so the comp we're going up against is a Nita, Rico, Shelly. Very good team comp. A little bit better than the last one, so we'll see how this goes here. Spike is going to be matching up against the Shelly. We have Rico v Rico, which is going to work out. And Nita versus BB. Not going to lie, I like BB's place a little bit better than Nita, because you can do stuff like this. BB, broken in the meta. Okay, let's gear up and see what we can do for some control in the mid lane. Okay, Brayden, Rico, squaring off. Brayden's able to get a little bit of damage off on that Shelly. Everyone's very weak, and we are 2v1. This is fantastic. But priority is to the other Rico. As you can see, he's holding off 2 guys because of how good the map is. Oh my goodness. You can literally, like I said before, reach every angle of this map with Rico. So nicely done, taking out a good chunk of the Bear's health as well as the Nita. But because of this map, you can hide really easily and heal back up. So we're getting pressured here. Once again, a very good match. Getting pressured here on our half of our map, which is never good. Jig with a really, really good Spike super. Oh my goodness, and that is a full team wipe. Let's pressure, let's mount, and we're exactly where we need to go. Alex tries to super it in, but like I said before, this is where you want to be with Brayden, with Rico. It's such a good spot. Oh, he goes down, but he's able to take out the other Rico, as well as damage significantly the Nita. And right now, Alex can just walk it in. Just walk it in. Easy as that. Freaking OP. Alright guys, so next we're going to be hopping into some games with the Rico god, Brayden himself. Hopefully we don't drag him in the dirt too much. I'm playing Nita. We have a Spike as well as Rico on our team. It should work out just fine. As you can see, we're matching up with randoms right off the get-go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Easy wins. Let's go! Okay guys, we found our match. We're up against a BB, a Frank, and a Shelly. Very tanky, damage-dealing craziness here against our control team comp. We'll see how it works. Okay, so we got 2 hits off the... I'm guessing BB's coming in over here. Yep. Nice. Okay, once we get that bear down, I think we'll be sitting good. Okay, Frank's going to be able to take us out. Oh my goodness, not up to a great start. But the cool thing about Brawl Ball, you get 2 goals. 2 goals make things work here. Gotta get used to this team comp. Okay, ain't gonna happen. Let's drop down bear. Protect from the Shelly. Alright, now we got position. Guys, this is a control team comp for a reason. Once we're up here, we should be able to rock and roll pretty well. Okay, there we go. Let's drop down bear. Just let this Nita bear take us to victory. Okay. Bruce, thank you, my friend. Alright, let's go left lane. Once again, BB or Frank's going to be rolling up the mid. Brayden did something good. I wasn't watching him. I know he took out someone. All right, Frank's got super, so we got to be careful for that. Okay, BB rolling in. Ah, we just missed. Oh, this is so close. Okay, drop down bear. We're doing just fine, baby. This is why you get 2 goals, even though they didn't score. Okay, let's walk it in. Just walk it in. Let's go, guys. Normally I don't score goals, but hey, we did it. Okay, guys, gearing up for the next one. I'm switching up from Nita to Daryl for a little bit more ball scoring action. Nita was doing just fine. But I'm just switching up the gameplay so you guys aren't watching the same thing. I think in our live matches, we were watching a lot of Nita as well. Might be fun just getting some Daryl action. Okay, we should try to focus on taking out that Rico. Okay, we have the same exact movement speed. Nicely done. Let's go. We are the ball scorer, guys. Daryl's one of my favorite ball scorers in the entire game. He's so much fun. Okay, here we go. Taking out Rico. Did Nita give up? What the heck? Must be lagging. Let's take care of the bear. We got really good DPS to do that. Okay. Who can we take? Who should we take out? Whenever you have super with Daryl, you basically have a free cycle if you kill someone with it. Okay, here we go. Brayden rolling up. Can he score? Oh, little trick shot action. That's why Brayden is the god, Rico. Alrighty, guys. Last one. Let's see how we can do. This team is really, really good. But not like necessarily. We're not playing up against like stellar team comps. There's a lot of BBs being played, which I feel like she's not that crazy good in this map. But that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I mean, if a lot of people are playing it, it might be good, you know? Okay, here we go. Where's BB at? Okay, fine by me. Let's go. 253 health to spare. Let's freaking go. Okay, we got our super again as well. I say we take care of the BB. What do you think? Unnecessary super. Defense. Defense. Okay. Super in a few more seconds. They don't have any people with... The only person with knockback is BB. Let's kick it right on by. And up we go. Bam! Let's go! Come on! Alrighty, guys, so hopefully you all enjoyed the video today. It was such a blast having a great discussion with Brayden about Rico. Hopefully you guys learned some stuff. Hopefully you jotted some tips and tricks down so you can improve your game with Rico. Like I said before, Spike is right around the corner. I already have that lined up, so be on the lookout for that one coming very, very soon. Once again, thank you, Brayden, for coming on the channel. Make sure to check out those links in the description down below. Go support him. I'm sure it would make his day. So that being said, everyone, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to slap a like on it. Really appreciate that. Also, consider hitting that subscribe button down below, being a part of the Ray fam. And if you made to this point of the video, make sure to comment down below which brawler you would like to see next after Spike in this series. Which brawlers are you having trouble pushing and need a few more tips on? And I'll probably just end up doing another poll as well before I make that video too. So guys, with that being said, make sure to keep having fun with Brawl Stars, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.